r/AskReddit asks, what are some stupid mentalities and mindsets that need to end? I'm being persecuted when I am contradicted. My daughter would loudly protest, stop yelling at me when I would calmly tell her things she didn't want to hear. She grew out of it, but some people never do. The concept that both fault and responsibility can only be 100% or 0%, and that if someone else has some fault it absolves another of all responsibility. Quitting is only for losers. If you try something and don't like it, why keep doing it? Why not allow yourself to switch to a better major or try a different sport or get a new job? I mean, don't quit everything once it gets hard, but why stay miserable for a "quitters never win" mentality? Get a job you like. Do an activity you like. Expecting everything instantly. Patience is a virtue. You're not going to die if you have to wait in line. If you don't listen to every song or know everything about a band, you are not a real fan. And how recent you became a fan shouldn't determine whether or not you are a proper fan. If something doesn't work 100% of the time, it isn't worth doing. People use this as an excuse to never do anything, or to deny others from trying. It's frustrating and holds us back as a species. *edited for explanation and to add quotes *. 60% of the time, it works every time. I read about it on the internet, therefore it's true. My grandma does this all the time to prove her argument, and it always ends up being from some BuzzFeed article. Drives me fucking nuts. Or people will cherry-pick quotes and not include the contradictory explanatory evidence in the next sentence. I can fix this person who has hurt me many times. Yep, you can try as much as you want, but if those people themselves don't want to change, then there isn't much you can do. Broadcasting everything in social media. I have cut way back on my social media presence. There is absolutely no reason why everyone that I have ever met throughout my life needs to know every detail of everything that is going on in my life. You're entitled to speak your mind. You're not entitled to have people listen, comply, or care. If you're not 100% with us, you're 100% against us. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Stop comparing traumas. It's not a fucking competition. Learn to have empathy and take care of each other's mental health. I'd also add not to compare stresses. At work I have been stressed the hell out for many reasons, but other coworkers just shrug off my complaints with the phrases, "Oh, you don't have kids or are not even in a relationship, what do you have to be stressed about?" Assuming that people are not allowed to change their opinions or values over time, and judging people, famous or not, for comments made decades ago. Yes, some people have patterns of problematic comments and behavior and should not be ignored. But it also makes sense that, for example, a politician may have learned more about abortion or healthcare or what have you and be able to change their stance. We are not the same people at 25 and 50. Or that if you change your opinion based on new evidence that you are somehow dumb, weak, or your opinion no longer matters. That anything but perfection is a failure. Progress is often incremental and takes time. I have been struggling with weight loss for years, and this concept is something I am finally coming to terms with. That no matter how much I progress and regress, I have to look at the end goal. Little things may slow me down, but I just have to remember to try again, and not beat myself up mentally because I failed my goal. That if I change my mind or opinion about something, I'm being fake or phony. Alcoholism being romanticized. No, it's pretty terrible to be honest. I feel like shit today. I want to stop drinking, but I know I'm gonna drink more today. When people post their opinion about something on social media and then say they don't want a debate, people who disagree will be unfriended, etc. I usually save them the step and delete them, but it still freaks me out that people are that unwilling to disagree, discuss, learn, etc. What's even the point of posting your opinion on a public forum, and then not engaging with it? There is this whole work culture expectation now of always being reachable by email or text for whatever happens. A lot of places expect, and at times demand, that you be pretty much on call even when you're not at the office anymore. I worked at an ad agency where days off sometimes didn't even feel like that, because I would still be getting emails about things and was expected to be checking them. I hated it. There should be some level of balance between work and personal life, and I feel like that is fading because so many places are adapting this type of culture and mentality, especially startups. The customer is always right. Customers are idiots most of the time. If you don't post about a tragedy or support something on social media, you are okay with or don't support, care about said something. Absolute cancer. I don't like the long copy pastas that say a lot of edge stuff and at the end says, if you don't share this, you obviously don't care. I'll be checking to see who my real friends are, and will be removing people accordingly. Good riddance. That just because someone is trying to help doesn't mean you can't tell them to stop. Edit. Thanks for the silver kind stranger. You could even argue it's your responsibility to tell them to stop. Someone misinformed but well-meaning isn't going to realize they're not helping if you don't tell them. They'll be likely to repeat the same mistake in the future. I can't change anything, so I'm not going to try it. Everybody that doesn't get along with you or agree with you is toxic. People are starting to expect being around nobody but people that agree with them, like a constant feedback bubble on social media, but in real life there is nothing wrong with separating yourself from people who you don't get along with. However, you should not do so simply because they don't share your opinion on some things. The view that you're good enough the way you are I know that may sound strange, but no one's perfect and we can all change ourselves in a positive ways. This mindset does have its correct uses, such as coming out of an abusive relationship, but more and more I'm seeing it used to justify staying a worse person than who you could be. A motivational speaker, who said that, you should never compare yourself to the best, but compare yourself to you from yesterday, really changed my outlook on things. People who oppose good things because I struggled through it and so should you. Instead of thinking, good, nobody should go through that if possible. If you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. Sometimes someone's worst is an absolute deal breaker, and needing to cut ties and move on doesn't mean that that person doesn't deserve the good things that come from a better relationship. That showing emotion makes you weak, especially men. Let women be angry and men be sad. Telling kids, especially young girls, that others only pick on them because they're jealous of them or fancy them. That is how you teach your kids that people abuse you because they like you. It needs to stop. That you need to stay in contact with all of your family members even though some of them are incredibly toxic. Something I notice in the gym is the no pain, no gain mentality is rampant. It is good to feel soreness and tightness after and during your workout, but working yourself to pain hinders your progress immensely. CrossFit takes this to an extreme, encouraging people to work out until total failure, which can result in severe injury. Working out shouldn't be painful. One wrong tear and you're toast. That if you don't like something, like a movie or video game, it means it's bad. Come on people, grow up already. And amp. Number X200B, example, I think The Revenant is a fantastic movie, but I hate it because I find it terribly boring and I would never watch it again, but the cinematography and production is drop-dead gorgeous. That if someone holds a particular belief, they must hold the most extreme possible version of that belief. Defining people by their jobs. The 40-hour workweek. Using automation to hurt instead of help. Bootlicking to bosses who do not and will not care about you. The productivity-centric social expectations. If you aren't a criminal, you don't need to worry about the cops. And the related, you don't need privacy if you've nothing to hide. Parents believing they know what's best for a child just because they've been on this planet longer than you have. You know, sometimes kids will experience something that those governing adults haven't, and the kid has something legitimate to say and should be listened to. Just because your body works a bit worse than mine because you've used it for longer means jack fucking shit when I'm suicidal and you won't listen to my issues because I've got my feelings wrong. A mistake means I'm a bad person. How can you learn from mistakes if you can't recognize that you make them? If I tailgate the person on front of me, they'll go faster. What a great mentality to have if you want to rear-end someone.